Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and today we're going to be talking about a few more add-ons and mods and tools, etc. that I have for you. We're going to be starting with this guy right in front of us. This is the Canadian Mods A321. For those of you who don't know the difference, the A320 and the A321. The A321 is a bit longer. As you can see here, it is a very large aircraft and has larger and more powerful engines, so it can carry more passengers, has a heavier payload capability, but the catch is when you download, and both links will be in the description below, you'll see the A321 link, and then you'll see directly beneath that A32NX stable release. Okay, you need to make sure that you guys enter in both the stable release and the A321. You cannot use the A32NX development version with this. You must use the A321. Alright, so jumping into the cockpit, once you have the A32NX stable release installed, you will be able to do full functionality out of the cockpit as you would with any other aircraft. So we currently have the batteries on, but you guys can see it works just like the A320. All the functionality is still there for the that is available in the stable release. So it's going to be a lot of fun to fly. And I think for a conversion, it's a very well done aircraft. I mean, obviously some of the textures, you can see its age. You can tell that came from a previous gen of livery, but you know, I'm sure that by now there's probably plenty of these out that are redone. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy this and check this one out. It's gonna be a fun one. Let's move on. Alright, so the next one we're going to be taking a look at here is another G36 mod. This is not the same mod as I showed you guys in a previous video. This is a completely different developer with completely more functionality in the aircraft. Again, check out the link in the description below. It also have a link on that website. You'll be able to see all the changes that have been made to it. Performance changes, texture changes, navigation computers, you name it. It's all been reworked. It's a very, I'm very excited to test this one out. By the way, for a certain viewer, we are at KFDY, that's Kilo Foxtrot Delta Yankee in Findlay. You had requested seeing this airfield. Here it is, my friend. Quite beautiful. I hope this is meeting your expectations. I promised you I'd show it in the next video, and here it is. We'll get airborne here in just a second, take another peek. You can look around as we talk about the aircraft. Anyways, guys, and by the way, if there's something you guys want to see in my videos and it doesn't take any time, I don't care where I fly out of, let me know. I'll be happy to demonstrate some of this stuff for you guys. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in the seat now. Alright, so what we're going to be looking for is just the performance changes and see how well the aircraft handles and if it's what we would expect to see. So let's go ahead and release the parking brake here and see how it does. Don't mind that. That was me kicking the rudder pedal on accident. Ooh. Wow, it basically picked up all by itself. That was great. Gear up, flaps up. Flying very nicely. Control inputs feel great. Speed is right on point. It's just picking up and going. Now, some of the stuttering you guys are seeing on the screen there is I actually think I have my display refresh rate set to medium. That's what it's set for ultra, so I just need to change that. That's not the mod. Sounds great, feels great. The power was right on point. The control surfaces very responsive as I would expect to. No fight in the input, no goofy responses. I can tell you that I did test fly the default version before this, and it's much more clunky, much less responsive. So there's definitely been a lot of work done just to the flight model right off the bat. And Leonard, I believe it was. Here's your Findlay Airfield, man. All right, so let's pull the load off here. Yeah, I'm liking this. I know it's always weird to hear that something feels different when you're talking about a simulator, but it does. It feels very different. I really hate that we lost the ability to move the camera up and down. By the way, that was confirmed. It was removed in this update for whatever stupid reason. That one I'm not happy about. If you can't tell. All right. Well, there you guys is the G36 Turbo. Again, this is a different developer from the previous one I showed you. I think I'm liking this one better, and the update seems to be more frequent, so something to think about there. But let's go ahead and move on, guys. All right, and the next one I have for you guys is another Cessna 152 mod. Again, this is another one that's received a lot of work. There's been a lot of updates to it. So we're just going to go ahead and get rolling here and see how it feels. Making sure it's actually full mixture. I feel like that should be pushing for it, but I guess not. All right, so let's get out of here. Did I set the parking brake? I do this to myself all the time. All right, takeoff is nice and strong. Trim feels a little slow on the response for this one. Flight model feels pretty good. Controls, again, pretty responsive, minus the trim. I felt the trim was a little behind where I would expect it to be. We got some pretty decent winds up here, so I'm sort of liking the response to it. Climb rate is still decent while maintaining airspeed. Yeah, I would say this one's a good one as well. This one's going to be a bit harder to determine which one's better, though. I mean, the previous one that I showed you guys in, I think, update 3, I think it Addons 3 that I did, I think it had a little bit more power on the climb out, but at the same token, I don't know which one's more accurate. Now, we've also got some wind and weather out here today, so, you know, it's hard to say what the deciding factor is. Either way, I will say that both of them are absolutely better than the default. The default is terrible. It is incredibly weak, and I know the Cessna 152 is a weaker of the two of the series, but it's not as bad as what the default gives us. The default version gives us is just, again, BS. Other words I'd like to say, but anyway. All right, so I've got one more thing that I want to show you guys, and then we will be wrapping up today's video. So if you guys liking the Cessna 152, go ahead and try this one out, and you guys let me know in the comments below, especially if you're using any of the others. And if there's any mods that you guys want me to review, please let me know. I will also be looking at the self-cargo loader here within the next week, and a few others that I've got on the table here. So let's go ahead and check out the last one here, and then we'll call it a night. Alright, so our final add-on is this guy. It's called SimRate Bandit. You simply load up your sim, make sure your aircraft has a flight plan in it, and it allows you to increase the sim rate.
SimRate 2. SimRate 4.
By simply hitting the start travel. Now, this aircraft obviously doesn't have waypoint following in it, but if it did, it would actually, the autopilot would still continue to function as it normally does. But we can still adjust our heading, for example. And I'm using my Stream Deck to adjust the altitude. So right now I've got us descending to about 4,000 feet. Now you can simply stop the travel.
SimRate 2. SimRate 1.
And it tells you how fast the sim is going. So for those long flights, to very quickly zip through it but have it still travel through, you can simply start your travel. And what it will do is, for example, in like an A320 or something that's got a fully operational autopilot, is before you get to the waypoint, the aircraft will, or the sim rate will slow down, allowing the aircraft to slow down. That way you make it to your waypoint comfortably, and then as you pass the waypoint you can re-increase the speed. So it's a very handy little tool for managing the sim rate. Anyway guys, that's all I have for you on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care, folks.